This story's not about me so much, but a member of my extended family. My father had a cousin named Stanley that shared our surname, but he was an American living in Cleveland, Ohio. Like our father, his cousin Stanley also ran a funeral home. Now that's weird enough to have two funeral homes completely separate but in the same family, but that's about where the similarities end. Uncle Stan, as I called him, was loud, fat, very rich, very overweight, and kept a family farm near our small town in Canada, where they raised horses and other things, but it was a lot of fun. He and his family, which consisted of his equally massive wife Irene, and their supersized lump of a son named Sandy, would come up for a couple of months in the summer to enjoy the nice weather. My sisters and I quite often reminisce about old Sandy, and I'd like to share a couple of memories that we have in a story I'll call The Sandy Files. So to recap, really big people. The three of them probably together came in around a half ton of unadulterated US white privilege. But I gotta say, Uncle Stan and Irene were pretty nice people for the most part. They had a really cool farm where they raised horses. I liked that. And they had a giant spread right on the St. Lawrence River. Gotta love that. But then there was Sandy. He stood a little over 6 feet tall, 350 pounds, flaming red hair, pasty white skin, and an obnoxious attitude about everything and everyone. For me, 3 stories in particular stand out that kind of encapsulate the kind of person Sandy was, and I'm going to recount them for you here. 1, getting up from a chair. I wasn't there for this one, but it is a legend in our family. You see, Sandy liked to sit a lot, but he was trying to push himself up out of a chair one day, and he snapped both his wrists. That's the end of that one. This next story involved my mother the saint. As she got a little older, my mother loved to golf, and she had a golf course that she went to quite often. It was about 10 miles out of our town, and she would golf with anybody, just happy to go out and knock the ball around. Somehow one day she managed to talk Sandy into going golfing with her. I'm sure he's never participated in any sporting activity in his life. He even offered to drive Mom out to the golf course, which she accepted. I'm sure that once they got out there, Sandy just bought everything he needed to use to play, because I don't think he owned any sporting equipment. As you can imagine, the round's not going well for Sandy, and it sounds like with every shot, he gets a little more angry. Mom even said that at a certain point, he would just put the ball down wherever he wanted to hit it from and go from there. She didn't care. She just wanted to go out and hit the ball. Well, at about the 10th hole, or farthest you can be away from the clubhouse, Sandy is particularly perturbed and decides that I'm just going to fling the club, flings it, the bag, the balls, everything into the woods, and I'm leaving. See you later. Now, Mom never used a golf cart. She didn't like to use a golf cart. She liked to walk everywhere, and somehow convinced Sandy as well. So Sandy leaves Mom with all of his garbage strewn all over the golf course to pick it all up and walk back to the clubhouse, which she does. Upon returning to the clubhouse, she finds that he's not only got back to the clubhouse, but he's now in his car and he's gone back home. Left her at the golf course to clean everything up. What a fucking maroon. This next one is my favorite story. Somehow Sandy managed to convince a member of the opposite sex to marry him. If I remember correctly, she was about 5'3" and about 100 pounds. Do I have to draw the picture for you? We were invited to the wedding in Cleveland, and we went down and made it a family event. My sisters each got to bring their boyfriends along, which made me happy because they were super cool guys and we were going to have a good time. Well, Sandy hated any and all PDAs, And it was obvious to us that this marriage would probably never be truly consummated.
Ew, seriously? That is so gross.
And I believe he only got married to make his parents happy. So we get to Cleveland, we attend the wedding, which is funny because he's not interested at all in the ceremony and her and the guests or anything. But we do go to the meal. Probably about 100 to 200 people in attendance. I'm pretty young, so I don't remember the exact number. There was a lot of people and a big head table like you expect. During the dinner, it was inevitable that we were going to hear the tink 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 of glasses as a signal for the bride and groom to stand up and kiss in front of everybody. But no, Sandy wants no part of this. So the first time it happens, I remember them standing up and having a little peck, but that was it. And then Sandy told everybody,
I'm not putting up with this anymore. It's a childish game, and I won't take part of it.
Well, you know what happens next. There is a table near the head table that has about, 4 or 5 young girls. And when I say young, I mean like they're 10 years old. They're, kids of the wedding party. They think that was funny, so they're going to start again right away with the glasses. Tink, 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 tink. Doesn't take long for Sandy to respond. He jumps up as fast as he can jump up, grabs a gravy boat, and heads right to their table. Here's a grown man running after 10-year-old girls with a gravy boat, sweating and screaming at them because they want him to kiss his bride again. I'm not joking. He chased 10-year-old girls around the room. He couldn't catch them. This left Sandy in a state. My sister's boyfriends and I knew just what to do. Let's go out and decorate the wedding car. That'll make him really happy. So we're decorating the car with crepe paper and balloons, tin cans. We're writing, happy slogans on the side. And all of a sudden I feel a tremor in the ground. And I turn to look at the door of the event location, and there's Sandy bursting out as fast as he can walk, pointing and yelling and screaming. I know he's coming right over to the car to stop us. Please, bring it on. Let me tell you that my sister's boyfriends were big athletic guys. They weren't in the least worried about Sandy catching them, but we still made the effort to run away from him. We ran around the car laughing as he was huffing and puffing around the car trying to get us to stop. But eventually he couldn't catch us, so he just ripped off as much as he could from the decorated car, pushed his bride inside as everybody had come out by this point, and off they went. Good times. We left Ohio. I got home, and truthfully, I haven't heard of or seen anything of Sandy since. I did hear that he ended up getting a doctorate in herbology or medieval cooking or some very useless degree. Good for him. I wonder if they're still married. Could be another dad's quality story.